hard P2 today. Of course, we all are wondering if he has anything for Shane Van Gisbergen and Connor Zilisch, because anytime those two are in the field, it is a battle. We cannot wait to see them go at it. We'll talk to SVG and Connor Zilisch coming up when we come back. Welcome back to NASCAR Countdown Live, presented by O'Reilly Auto Parts. Closed captioning for today's race is brought to you by Cerakote. The top dealers in the world trust Cerakote, shouldn't you? And it is safe to say that there has been no mastery quite like Shane Van Gisbergen and Connor Zilisch when it comes to the road courses. And whether you like it or not, you can at least appreciate the dominance and the fun they're having while doing it.
You hold it.
You hold it. You're the tech kid.
Come on, man. All right, can I play it?
Shane Van Gisbergen, the single best stock car street course racer. Connor Zilisch, a once-in-a-generation talent.
Talking nicely about us.
Two of the best out front. Time to settle it at Chicago. Going to be tied into turn one.
Thanks for this.
What happened?
Clear.
Clear.
I almost got to you on that last lap.
Yeah, but you didn't.
Yeah, I think we both respect racing against each other and have expectations for what each other will do, and we align pretty well on what we expect out of each other. So, yeah, I personally love having Shane as a teammate and getting to, learn from him, and he's one of the nicest guys that I've been teammates with ever. So it's helpful to have somebody who's, willing to help and push everybody to be better.
I hardly remember this race.
You don't?
Nah.
Oh, real sideways. Connor blocking.
Take it easy on me, man.
You know, he's not reactive to like the pressures and the backgrounds of racing, which is awesome. The attitude's really cool, and it's helped me be like that again too in some ways, and just an amazing level for how young he is and how short of a time he's done it. And then on the road course especially, it's every single weekend he's up the front, so.
Thanks. You know you can talk bad too.
Yeah, I don't have much bad to say.
Thanks.
Publicly anyway.
We can pause it here.
Now you got to explain yourself.
I was trying to pass you the nice way for so long, and then I didn't even...
And then what?
Power move, turn 6, there's the contact. Van Gisbergen around.
I wasn't trying to wreck you. Didn't give me room.
I left you a lane. Oh.
That was a big one.
That's one of the biggest ones I had.
I felt bad about that one. It was a mistake, and you never want to do that to a teammate. I don't think anybody would do that on purpose, so I learned my lesson.
Well, I left out the other highlight.
Which one?
Or low light.
Oh, when I fell? Yeah.
I hit my head pretty hard that afternoon.
So did I. We both might not have the best memory of that day. It's funny, Dale said he stayed. He stayed after the race because he wanted to talk to me about it. And then I fell and he couldn't.
Oops. Yeah, we're way friendly most of the time on track. But sometimes you make it pretty rude.
Come on, man. One time. It was an accident. But no, I think...
I meant you. Out the window.
Oh, yeah. No, I'll give you a bird every now and then, but you give it right back.
I'm always the friendly one.
No, come on. You gave me a bird this past weekend. No, but yeah, we get along well off the track as well, and yeah, he's invited me over a few times.
I've never been to yours.
Yeah, well, I live with my parents, so it's a little different.
I mean, you're with each other 3 or 4 times, 3 or 4 days a week, so kind of helps you get along, I guess.
It's helpful to have that as teammates. You want to be able to get along with the people that you're traveling with all the time, and you know, you're in meetings every week, so yeah, it makes it more enjoyable to be around people you like being around, and yeah, we certainly have that.
All right, so they're having a lot of fun going at it every week that they're in this series, especially on road courses. But you have to go up against SVG every time you're on a road course in the Cup Series. How much fun is that?
Oh, so much fun. It's so much fun.
Sarcastic, maybe?
It's just I enjoy every second of it. But, you know, with that said, and Parker knows this, when you go up against SVG on a road course, you know he's not going to make any mistakes. You have to be at your 100% on the limit, at your best, without any mistakes, and that makes you raise your game, and sometimes it's frustrating, but at the end of the day, if you're able to do that and beat him, which is very rare on a road course, you know you've accomplished something, and I've learned a lot from him. I was his teammate at College Racing, and he makes everybody step up their game, and that's what you have to do to go beat him.
Yeah, and Connor Zilic has beaten SVG, but he's going to have a little work to do coming from 30th. Had some issues in qualifying yesterday. What do you expect from the one?
Well, about lap 10, he'll be up there, you know, with SVG. Most likely SVG saving his tires or something at that point. Who knows? I expect those two to find each other inevitably as long as Connor can keep the fenders on that race car. A year ago, I wouldn't have said he would have kept the fenders on it, but he has progressed massively in that respect. I absolutely expect him to get up there. And I think what I've said throughout the show is the respect those two have for each other is so rare. It's so obvious they have respect for their talents and skills at different stages in their career and in their lives, which is really impressive. It makes me think AJ never treated me as nicely in our time as teammates and racing on track. I looked up to him like an older brother, and it was just never reciprocated.
He also Connor didn't, and SVG didn't have to listen to you cry on the internet like when you were 12 years old when we were just sim racing.
I might need to stand in between you two.
This would be a fun move.
Yeah. Connor Zilic, though, trying to keep his winning percentage here at 100. He's with Kim Kuhn.
That's right, Carla. Won this race last year after a heated battle with teammate SVG. This year, a little bit different. You guys are both Cup interlopers, only care about the win. So does that change what is fair and what is foul if you race against each other today?
I mean, I try and keep it fair with him always because no matter what, I'm going to have to deal with him tomorrow and you know, have to pass him to be able to get a chance to win. So, yeah, I mean, I feel like for us today is going to be about patience and taking my time getting through the field. It's obviously a long race, plenty of time. Obviously got a lot of work to do with our Roto-Rooter Chevrolet, starting 30th. So, yeah, we're going to take our time and hopefully get there when it counts.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Dylan?
The next chapter of SVG versus Zilic is potentially ready to unfold for us later this afternoon. Last year, it did come down to you two for the win. Connor was racing for points in this series at the time. You were not. This year, both of you are full-time Cup guys. So if you are racing each other for the win, what's fair game at the end of the day today?
I think you're disrespecting these two. These are probably my biggest challenges. They're both very fast. So, yeah, probably going to be racing them. I'm sure Connor will make his way through, but, yeah, thanks as always to the Junior Motorsport guys, the 9 cars. Unreal to drive, so just got to do my job today and hopefully keep that super foul Chevy up front.
What ultimately will be the difference maker in winning or not today?
Just no mistakes. It's always an odd strategy here with the third stage. You can make it, but it's a bit of a fuel save. So, yeah, we just got to get it right and believe in what Philip and the guys are doing and, yeah, be out there all day.
On the pole for the 3rd straight year in this race, looking for his 2nd win in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series here at Sonoma.
All right, thanks, Dylan. Well, we just heard it's time for our race-winning picks. Parker, lead us off.
Well, this guy finished 2nd last year, but I think he kind of let CZ get it. So I'm going with the other acronym, SVG, getting to victory lane here at Sonoma today. He's got a little chip on his shoulder.
You know, usually we don't have the same pick, but I'm also going SVG today. I feel like he's just got, I don't know, just some motivation to get it done today. Now that leaves you.
Wow.
What do you think?
Both of you really stepped out on a limb there.
Fruit.
Yeah, that's tough to do. Well, you know what? I'm going to make it no, I'm not making it the same pick. Let's go Brent Cruz.
Wow. P2. Why?
Because he's been so close to winning this year. I think he was fast yesterday. He starts 2nd. Brent Cruz going to steal the show today.
And this is going to be the time, because I think I've picked him about 5 times this year, and it has not got to victory. And I was telling Brent yesterday, I said, I'm not picking you. And he said, watch, I'm going to win. So you might have found a good one.
I'm the lucky charm.
All right, and none of us picked Connor Zilic.
None of us.
We'll see what he can do coming from the back of the field. AJ and Parker, it's time for you to get up to the booth, but this is also interesting. Brad Perez is waiting for his car to get to the grid.
Oh, boy.
They're having some fun. Hopefully it gets here.
A little engine issues over there, but you know what? He's making the best of it. I love that.
All right, we will have more on Sonoma Raceway when we come back. Pre-race ceremonies are just ahead.
Sonoma's really fun because there's a lot of elevation change and it's really flowy. I think there's less heavy braking zones in some of the other tracks we go to, which makes it fun to get into a rhythm. I think presents a lot of passing opportunities and is why it's actually one of my favorites.
Turn 1 is just super uphill, and turn 2, you're kind of cresting the top of that hill. That's kind of really different, and it puts the car in a bad spot with trying to keep all 4 tires kind of in the racetrack. And you have some things you can do as a driver to kind of keep the platform stable, but also you're relying on your teams to keep that car in the racetrack.
Sonoma's weird. Sonoma's so much fun, but it used to be really worn out, slick, hot, but then they repaved it a couple years ago, so it changed it a lot, but now it's just a faster version of slick and hot.
Yeah, Sonoma is unique with a lot of blind corners. The repave made it different and tricky. I would say mostly just elevation and blind corners.
A picture-perfect day in wine country as the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series takes on the twists and turns of Sonoma Raceway. But let's rewind to yesterday. Austin Green lost brakes in practice, hit the pack of tires at turn 11 hairpin, forcing him to a backup. You see that incident right there. Unfortunate, but the circumstances actually showcase the camaraderie between Peterson Racing and their alliance partner, RCR. This backup that they went to work on is actually the shared backup for Austin Hill and Jesse Love. And the number 87 crew chief, Jody Meesemer, remarked, it was so cool to see all of RCR jump right in to help. He said after practice and qualifying, everyone, including Chad Haney and Danny Stockman, went to work to help them, staying until almost 4 hours yesterday after the garage closed. Dylan.
Kim, Viking Motorsports is quickly becoming the feel-good story of the season. They've shown flashes of speed with both Parker Retzloff and Anthony Alfredo, but for the second week in a row, both cars have qualified in the top 5. That's a big deal anywhere for any team, but for this group in just their second full-time season with 2 drivers who will tell you they themselves are still a work in progress on road courses, it speaks to just how good these cars have been and just how well the drivers are driving them. The win feels closer than ever for the 99 and 96, and they may not be the underdogs they once were, but what a great accomplishment it would be if that win were to happen today.
Thanks, Dylan. And as we get ready for today's pre-race ceremonies, Golden Corral would like to take a moment to thank our nation's heroes. It's a privilege to serve those who serve. It's now time to get to our pre-race ceremonies here in Sonoma.
Please rise as you are able. Remove your hats, and veterans render a hand salute as the Travis Air Force Base Honor Guard presents our nation's colors. Here to offer today's invocation, please welcome President and Senior Chaplain of Motor Racing Outreach, Billy Malden.
Heavenly Father, as we rise up once again to recognize your presence in our lives, Lord, we do so truly blessed with an absolutely gorgeous day. But Father, most importantly, with your peace and your love that surrounds us all. Father, as we continue to celebrate the 250th anniversary of our nation, Lord, we do so mindful of the men and women, our armed forces, first responders everywhere that are protecting the liberty that we enjoy today, and we ask your blessings upon them. Be with these drivers, teams, officials today, all these fans. Bless us all with a great day, a safe day of racing. And Father, as always, surround us with your peace. It's in Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Here to perform our national anthem, please welcome Bay Area native and proud United States Army and Air Force veteran, Sochi Luna.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare
Golden Corral is proud to partner with Project Healing Waters, healing Americans veterans through the therapeutic art of fly fishing. And as a founding partner of Camp Corral, Golden Corral helps send children of wounded, ill, or fallen military members to summer camp each year. Well, there's only one thing left to do. We're going to get the engines fired for a total of 79 laps today. We are so close to the start of this race. We'll have more from the infamous Turn 11 coming up.
Get ready because the NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series is heading west to Sonoma Raceway. The 1.99-mile circuit located in the heart of California's wine country is all about rhythm, precision, and patience. This track features 12 turns that will put drivers to the test. Turn 11, the heavy braking hairpin, is one of the best passing zones on the track. Drivers will dive deep into the corner, sometimes locking up tires as they fight for position heading back onto the front stretch. Through the sweeping S's, it's about momentum and hitting every apex just right. Another passing zone is located at the top of the S's, turn 7A. This hard right-hander requires heavy braking, and its wide entry invites drivers to set up passes. Well-executed pit stops will help drivers maintain track position, but making those pit stops at the right time will be key to position drivers for the win. We had the chance to talk to drivers and hear what they had to say about taking on Sonoma.
Sonoma's hot and slick. They repaved it a couple of years ago, and it's already lost a ton of grip. It's a really weird place because you really expect it to be super fast and sweeping, but you honestly have to slow down so much just because it's so hot and slick. Back before the repave, it was even crazier, but now that the repave is here and it's already wearing off, but you're still going so much faster.
It's a really fun road course, but it's definitely not my favorite.
Technical, physical, unforgiving. Who will master the turns of wine country and leave Sonoma with the chalice? Get ready because the green flag is about to drop at Sonoma.
Winding roads are on the menu this weekend in Sonoma, California.
This has to be one of the most beautiful racetracks in all of NASCAR.
The elbows will get wide, a little sheet metal traded as well.
All right, boys, let's go have a great day.
Patiently aggressive all day here.
It's wine country.
Racing on the road in California.
Ready, rolling, rolling, rolling. Green flag, everybody's rolling.
The chase is on. They go from about 120 miles an hour to 30. How lucky do you feel here at Sonoma Raceway?
Roger White.
Whoa! On the turn, there he goes.
Yeah, spinners in the back.
It's a wad of cars behind him.
Oh my goodness.
Elbows up.
Only a half a car length separate first and second. They'll race side by side, door to door.
This is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
This is his race this afternoon.
Great day for racing in one of the most scenic parts of the country. here in wine country, Sonoma, California. We're down here in turn 11. These folks behind me have got a great view in the hospitality area of where I'm at right now. Turn 11 is always a focal point of conversation when we race here, and a lot of times that's because things get very physical down here. It's one of the last passing opportunities before you get to the start-finish line. Often leads to a little bit of desperation. But one thing that's different this year are these Tech Pro barriers here that line the inside wall. This used to be tire packs. The concrete wall behind it has been here for a couple years, but this year these Tech Pro barriers have been added and makes it a little bit more forgiving than just hitting one of those Jersey barriers. It is Calamity Corner. Don't expect anything different today. Time to figure it all out and see who comes out on top in Sonoma. Let's get the command.
Sonoma Raceway, here to say the most famous words in motorsports. Please welcome TNT Sports host, Marty Smith.
Howdy, y'all. Welcome to the Pit Boss 250. God bless America, and thank you to every service member who has sacrificed to preserve her freedom. And happy 250th birthday to the greatest nation in the world. Gentlemen, start your engines!
All right, Marty. Well, SVG and Brent Cruz at the front row. They'll lead us to green on the other side in the booth, and AJ Allmendinger will welcome us back. We'll go racing right after this.
Good afternoon from Sonoma, California. The final road course race of the year for the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series happens in wine country. CW Sports welcomes you to our coverage of the Pit Boss Food Max 250 here at Sonoma Raceway. Cars rolling off. We're ready to go. We welcome you into the broadcast booth with Parker Kligerman. I'm Adam Alexander. And the man in the middle, our guest this week, the all-time wins leader on the road in O'Reilly, A.J. Allmendinger. 500th Cup start tomorrow. We're glad you're here, man.
Man, it feels like it, too. It hurts. I got to start stretching for tomorrow already.
That's right. Loosen up. So take me through this track, because I love coming out here. The scene is amazing. The track is challenging.
I mean, I'm biased. This is my home racetrack, but this is a technical racetrack. So much elevation change. Sometimes TV won't even do it justice. How high the climb into turn 1, turn 2 is, back down the hill. It's easy to burn the rear tires up. It's easy also, Parker, to make a mistake. You drop a wheel off here, you pay a big price.
It really does, and that 160 feet of elevation change you mentioned is hard to show, but thanks to our friends at iRacing, we've got kind of a virtual breakdown of this racetrack at Sonoma Raceway. We call it 11 turns, 1.99 miles, but you mentioned it is technical, and that starts right as you come through the start-finish line and head towards up that hill. It looks like a mountain you're going to climb as you turn off into turn 1 over here. That's the left-hander. If you're on the inside on a restart, that's good there. It won't be good when you get all the way to the top of this hill. At turn 2, it's now a right-hander. You'd be on the outside. Tough to get the power down. Through 3 and 3A, it's just an undulating blind corner, a downhill brake zone into 4, thus heads down to 7, a tight corner, AJ.
Come out of turn 7. That's just power down. Through the fun part of the racetrack here, turn 8, turn 9, we call them the S's. You come up over this rise in turn 9, trying to get the power down, but turn 10, maybe the most important corner, that sets up the passing zone into turn 11. You make all the moves there, get that drive off, back to the start-finish line.
And that's one of the trickiest places to be side by side. That wall on the inside comes up quick. You want to be sorted out by the time you get there.
I'm not a driver, but I will tell you, pavement is good, dirt is bad. Let's keep it on the asphalt, fellas. Green flag when we return on CW. It's the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series live in Sonoma, California. Great afternoon, Sonoma, California. Perfect day for a race. We're glad you're with us for the Pit Boss Food Max 250. Qualifying happened here yesterday. Let's take a look at our Pit Boss Grills starting grid. Shane Van Gisbergen on the pole up front with Brent Cruz.
You got our San Diego winner, Austin Hill, starting 10th, and the Richard Childress, number 21. He has a pair of top 10s in his 3 career starts here at Sonoma.
He's one to watch on the road courses. Then as we get to the next page, Carson Kvapil in the DGM racing number 91 this week. He's been jumping between all those different cars. He's riding a career best streak of 5 straight top 10s and finished 8th here last season. He's hoping to improve on that.
I'm going to go ahead and tell you, spoiler alert, the biggest mover, stage 1, is going to be Connor Zilic. Had a flat tire in qualifying yesterday. He replaces the tire, but he comes from the deep in the field. Won this race a year ago.
That is going to be a lot of fun to watch him rip through this whole field. But back on the last page, Austin Green, the number 87, had a massive wreck in turn 11 yesterday after losing his brakes in practice. If he wants a repeat of his top 10 last week at San Diego, he'll have to come from the rear in a backup car. I saw that team working on that car this morning. They were doing some seat fit for him. He's not even in his own seat. He's got a lot to learn here in short order in just the first couple laps.
Talk about Sam Mayer, how good he is on the road, qualified 9th. There's Team Radio, presented by Starkey. Scan the QR code now.
All right, I got a Muhammad Ali quote.
What is that?
If my mind can conceive it, if my heart can believe it, then I can achieve it.
That's a good one.
In their hauler, in their defense, they love the show, the soccer show. I'm now blowing a blank on.
Ted Lasso,
and they have Believe on the hauler, by the way. So they love motivational things at the 41 team.
Let's go to Kim.
Well, let's talk about the pole sitter, SVG. He's a favorite this afternoon, and he's got a little extra motivation from the Cup race last weekend at San Diego. He was not happy with Austin Hill after Austin sparked a massive crash that resulted in a DNF for Shane. And Shane's disappointment, it lingered most of the week, and he told his crew chief, Philip Bell, he took him so long, in fact, longer than any incident he've ever faced in racing to shake it off. So I asked Philip if he thinks it'll be a distraction today, especially with Austin in the field, and he said quite the opposite. He told me, quote, there is speed and an angry driver. Dylan?
And Kim, as mentioned, Connor Zilic will start at the back of the field today. Fear not, this isn't the first time this year where the one team with Zilic driving has had to overcome a similar challenge. At Circuit of the Americas earlier this spring, they started at the rear of the field, and by the end of stage 1, they were up to 3rd. So that's Rodney Childers' reminder to his team today. Take care of the car early. With Connor driving, there's little doubt that we can make up that deficit in enough time to contend for the win today.
I'm here for the show, and you would just anticipate as we go throughout the afternoon, it will be a duel between 2 of the best ever when you talk about racing on the road in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series. Look at what these 2 have done head-to-head when they've been doing it on a road course. Just incredible, the back and forth between this duo, Zilic and Van Gisbergen.
Yeah, that's not bad. I think it's so
6 wins,
one
2
of them
runner-ups.
wins, and then the other one wins, one of them wins, and the other one wins. So
They've won every time they're in the head-to-head together on a road course. So
yeah, with 2
one of
runner-ups.
these 2. Yeah.
I like it. Fun to watch, very talented, and they no doubt will be big players and a big part of the conversation here today. Toyota Camry pacing the field as they come down through the S's. Let's talk a little bit here. Van Gisbergen goes driver's right. Where does all of that come from when you think about how to manage this race? Because 1 and 2 are so unique in where you want to be.
So yeah, it's kind of driver preference in the sense of, do you think you can get the launch in the restart zone and clear him if you're SVG right now starting on the outside technically of turn 1? He's thinking I can get the launch, clear him, pull down. Now the problem is if it doesn't happen, it's very slick on the outside. So he's hoping here that he gets the quick launch, able to dive in front of Brent Cruz, run the bottom through turn 1.
Opening stage, 20 laps. Gonna be a good one. Front row, Shane Van Gisbergen. To his left, Brent Cruz. Green is out, and we are racing in wine country.
Really even start there. Great start by Brent Cruz.
But SVG gets away, jumps to the lead.
That's what SVG was looking for there. If you able to hold the outside, you get the launch off of turn 2. Now he can go out. What he does is start setting the pace, already saving rear tires.
Cruz is second. Anthony Alfredo, red, white, and blue. Number 96 is third. Taylor Gray, last week's runner-up, that black and yellow white machine, in fourth as we head to turn 7.
This gets really tight down in here, especially on these starts and restarts. See a couple of cars were attempting to put it 3 wide. You got to get that sorted out by the time you get into the S's here. Otherwise, you're in for a long set of S's.
See Sam Mayer there, Austin Hill running side by side. That is so tough to do, running through the S's. Austin Hill seems to have checked up a little bit, allow Sam Mayer to take over that spot.
Mayer's so good last week in San Diego, had the big crash. Hill able to take advantage, get his first career win on a road course. And that's Hill's teammate, the Tua Jesse Love, working over Justin Allgaier, the last 2 champions racing for position. That's 7th on track.
I like that move by Austin Hill. He let Sam Mayer go into 10. It's high speed. You don't want to be side by side there, and then fired it off into the inside of turn 11. It hasn't worked out, but it sort of sent a message to try and set up Sam Mayer.
8 is Sammy Smith, 18 William Sawalich, good road racer.
Yeah, going after it, just outside the top 10. Parker, you know it's so easy to get track position early in the run, and then it's all about trying to pace yourself. These long green flag runs around here, it's easy to burn up the tires.
Right, and I think we're seeing that right now from our leader, Shane Van Gisbergen, as he has Brent Cruz right on his tail, Anthony Alfredo, Taylor Gray. Seeing a train like this, potentially, that's Shane just managing that equipment, managing those tires. I'd be surprised if he's not, you know, sort of taking it easy. Oh, we've got Blaine Perkins spun around.
Oh, and
a lot of front end damage.
Blaine, a guy that's had success on the road. When you look at his career, a couple of top 10s coming out of turn 7.
So we've already got the front end damage there. Had it wheel hopping down into 7 on the inside. Maybe something happened down in 4 there and then continued into 7.
He was back outside the top 25. Also want to report, we knew that there were some gremlins for Brad Perez and that race team. He did not make it out for the start of the race, so tough break there. Monopoly Go, onboard camera, riding with Shane Van Gisbergen. Up the hill to turn 2. Now down to 3 and then up to 3A.
And Parker, this is what makes Shane Van Gisbergen so good. Just knowing that pace. You know, you look in the mirror, you see Brent Cruz, you see Anthony Alfredo. A lot of guys would start panicking a little bit, like start pushing their car a little bit harder than they need to early in this run. But SVG just knows exactly what pace to run.
He does, and he can just manage it so well. And when he's doing this, he's taking care of those rear tires. That's under braking, that's under acceleration. He's just not putting excess force through them. What you do when you're on a hustle lap, you end up using those rear tires by chirping them on the brakes, maybe spinning them on the X of the corners. He just is focused on absolutely not doing any of that. You see the car never slides. He's not laterally using up those tires. He's trying to keep that car super straight, super perpendicular, and just making sure that he's managing those tires so that if those guys were to have a run at him, he would have tire to manage it. Here's Connor Zilich trying to work his way through the field.
51, Jeremy Clements. 26, Dean Thompson.
And you talked about this in the pre-race, trying to keep the fenders on the race car. You want to get up there. The great thing about Connor Zilich now is he doesn't have to worry about points. So we know he's going to use the stages to short pit, get some track position, but you still want to get up there as far as you can early in the race, but you have to do that smart. As we see Brandon Jones off into the dirt here in turn 3.
Powerball power movers, plus 12 for Zilich. Might get another one right here. 0 is Alex LeBay, also going to try to take advantage of Brandon Jones, who had the off-track excursion.
And Connor caught him really quickly there, down to 4, because Brandon was just trying to gather it back up and get going. All that dirt on his tires.
I thought we might do 3 wide to 7.
Yeah,
I was curious to see how that worked.
It's a pretty tight situation. There's Brandon, he's already gone off. I don't know if maybe there was a little help or just got loose into that corner. That can happen, the way the car compresses, AJ, you know that, into turn 3 there. And so as you sort of head up the hill, it can sort of, at times, take the rear end out of the racetrack and get a big loose moment.
Brandon was 15th. He's fallen outside the top 20 now. Won a stage here a year ago. Talked about Alex LeBay in the Zero. Really good road racer. Racing with Harrison Burton there. Harrison coming off his first top 10 of the campaign last week, and right behind him, the one, Connor Zilic, continues the climb.
Parker, you talked about it in the practice qualifying show. Alex LeBay gets way more out of the race car. Oh! That's not good for the rear tires.
Nope.
At all. Just shows this track has some grip in it right now, but it's so easy to overstep it. I did it in qualifying, but you know, back to Alex LeBay, he gets way more out of his car than a lot of guys do.
Let's take another look at this. This got de-wedged on the curb, trying to put the power down there on the inside of Harrison Burton, and then got away from him.
We're used to Zilic creating highlights on the road. Maybe not so much like that. The save coming down from 2 to 3. And this move was key for his teammate, Shane Van Gisbergen, to get the lead and get ahead of the curve, taking over the top spot early. He's led them all so far in Sonoma, California. Test your luck and make your power play by heading to your local lottery retailer to get in the game for tonight's estimated Powerball jackpot of $348 million.
It's like half your bank account.
Oh, just right there at it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Finally, someone put it out there.
13 to go, stage 1, and we have some debris on the racetrack. Came from Kyle Sieg, so under caution for the first time today.
As the tire carcass.
That's right.
As we would say, it's a technical term. Here's the result and why. LeVar Scott in the Sunoco car right there, AJ. Uh-oh. Wheel hop.
He got in a little deep, but Ryan Ellis behind him. It's hard to see if he got a little bit of help, but he was, LeVar Scott was full commitment into turn 11 no matter what, and just got the right rear of Kyle Sieg, and that's what cut it down.
The tire says goodbye.
Right there.
There we go.
Yep. See you later. There's the carcass. And if you're in Kyle Sieg's position there, that is a really frustrating moment, and it happens here. We've seen it many, many times. There's nothing he can do at that point. When there's a car coming at that rate of speed to that moment in the corner, we see this often. You just have to grit and bear it and hope that it doesn't cause damage.
I usually close my eyes. When
Oh, that's a good tactic, too. Yeah.
Well, you guys know, turn 11 has had many victims of the game over the years. LeVar Scott, by the way, making his first ever start here at Sonoma in any series.
Adam, I promise you that will not be the first time we've ever seen that, and it definitely is not going to be the last time we see it.
No doubt about it. This does, create an interesting time for a caution, because if you want to play some games, we're about halfway through, closing on the midway point of this opening stage. So if you wanted to try to flip it or maybe get out of sequence, maybe far enough in here you got something to work with. Everybody had 3 sets of tires laying in the pit area. And I think most conventionally would say you'll want to make 2 stops. So we'll see how everybody manages this and what you do. So many options anytime you go road racing to maybe get out of balance, create some track position later in the race.
Definitely does, and I think to a Connor Zilich there who definitely wants that track position right now, could this open up some opportunities for him and that team to leapfrog some cars and pull some strategy to make it a lot easier than having to drive through the field?
We were riding on board there with Anthony Alfredo, and it reminds me of just how great Viking has been throughout 2026, in particular the last few weeks. They qualified top 5 last week at San Diego. Anthony didn't get the payoff. It was a good effort for Parker Retzloff, but here they are, both in the top 5 again. There's the Dude Wipes onboard camera. Really good job by Anthony Alfredo and this team of growing the organization. Didn't add the second car till December, but they are staying ahead of it and really working hard to put themselves in position for success. There's the pit road entry as you head down toward turn 11. And we talked about maybe having some options. For the most part, everybody's staying out. Going to be some takers, though. First of those to come, the only one so far, Harrison Burton.
Zilich, not one of those.
No.
So not an opportunity.
That's right. He said, no, thank you. I'll stay out. We're about an hour north of San Francisco, the gorgeous Golden Gate Bridge. caution of the day, all cleaned up at Sonoma. We're ready for the restart, and the field is heading to the Echo Park Restart Zone. Echo Park Automotive, where car buying is easier, better, and happier. And the restart here will look just like the start of the race. SVG Brent Cruz up front. 10 to go, stage 1.
And I wonder if Brent Cruz learned anything from the initial start. It looks like SVG did. Shot out of a cannon on the outside. Gets easily clears Brent. Has free reign at the front.
Anthony Alfredo under Brent Cruz to P2 now. See if Anthony has anything for SVG.
Look at his teammate, Parker Retzloff, able to get around Taylor Gray for position at black and green number 99 to 4th.
This is incredible by Viking Motorsport. Last week, this week, this is for real. They just passed a Jogas racing car, and Anthony Alfredo is trying to run down the best stock car road racer in the world. Big lockup from Jesse Love.
Hometown guy, reigning champ, locking it down, going to 7. Another California kid in front of him, 17, Corey Day.
I don't like that for Jesse Love. That right front tire was locked up for a long time, Parker. We're going to have to see if he can stay on the racetrack, but that thing definitely has to be flat spotted.
Yeah, it's going to make you really uneasy right now for a couple laps just to see what the reaction is if he starts to continually lock that up. Oh, as Justin Allgaier moves the inside of Corey Day into 11.
Allgaier, 3 career wins on the road. A 5-time winner this year. Championship leaders look great.
Little tire rub there for Ross Chastain in that 32 car on the left front. Oh, that's got a big tire rub as the speed increased down the straightaway.
Back to Allgaier and Day.
So far, that right front tire looks okay for Jesse Love. Go back here to Ross Chastain. Batting with Sheldon Creed.
And it might clearance itself a little bit, potentially, the way it was at the top of the tire. Here we're on board with Sheldon Creed. We'll look at the 2. You saw that right front lockup. This might be the contact. Oh, there it is. Through 9.
Opposite side, though.
Yeah, that's a different donut.
They're 10th and 11th on track right now, 32-0. Dean Thompson, Jeremy Clements can't get away from one another, and right behind them, Ryan Sieg.
Ryan Sieg just on the edge of the chase cutoff. Needs a good run here, knowing that this is probably not one of his better racetracks.
Look at Zilich. He's kind of quiet after he got up inside the top 25, kind of flatline there about 21st, but he's picking them off again since the restart. Scored 16th right now.
And this is a tough place to make up tons of positions. It's really a one-by-one affair out of Sonoma. AJ, you know this. There's no quick. Oh, wait a second. There goes Jeb Burton off in the grass. Brandon Jones almost followed him.
Jeb, I've done this before. As you go to tip it off into 3A there, it drops the right rear into the dirt as you touch the brake pedal. And once that happens, he did a great job of not spinning out, but you are going to take a ride through the dirt.
Oh, Dean Thompson spun around.
It's been a very active first 12 laps or so.
We've got cars going everywhere.
Raja Karuth, 88, had a front row seat for Burton. Jeb in the 27 was 20th. He's now outside the top 30.
It's so easy to do there, AJ, because you want to get more angle, but you go a little bit too far, and suddenly the right rear has no grip, and you're going for a ride like you saw there. Jeb covered that windshield in dirt and grime, so that'll be harder to see out of. Hopefully he doesn't cover the radiator too much.
I just feel like these O'Reilly drivers are just trying to carry it over from San Diego.
Let's not go there. That was one of the more bizarre afternoons we've had in 2026. Unbelievable weekend. So much fun in San Diego at Naval Base Coronado, but we did have a handful when it comes to the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series. 2 good young drivers here. Zilich up to 15th, going by Sawalich.
That was easily one of the longest races of all time in the O'Reilly Series.
Indeed.
That was quite the weekend.
Took a nap, had a lunch, dinner, still watched the race.
We were still on TV. Yeah.
Let's get an update. Number 1 in Zilich. Dylan?
Well, that caution in the middle of this stage was exactly what Rodney Childers and the one team told me they were hoping for. Connor done a great job to pick off 10 or 11 cars there and make up a bulk of that track position. Then they got that yellow, which bunched everyone back up, and he's going right back to work here. So it's 7 to go in this stage. He's in 15th right now, in position to do a lot of damage control and make up a lot of that track position that they needed to make up early in this race. So all going according to plan right now. Connor's feedback just a little bit loose, specifically in the right-hand corners.
Here's the other thing I would say. I mean, not only do you cut the gap down, as Brandon Jones has a problem here, but you think about the number of drivers in the top 15 that will run it long to get points. So when they flip the stage, you got to believe the one will. That will help their track position even more as we move forward.
He might be able to roll to pit lane here, it looks like. I was wondering if maybe we saw some water spouting out of it or something from when he went off. Got all that debris on the front, but not the case.
Jones able to get back to pit entry. If he can make it all the way around, we will stay green here.
Sounds like it might be a transmission issue for Brandon.
Disappointing. I feel like Brandon Jones this year, it's feast or famine. He runs well, has opportunity to win the race, or he just has days like this. There doesn't seem a lot of in-between right now for this 20 team and Brandon Jones.
Came in 6th in points and slowly coasting toward his pit stall, Kim.
Yeah, something mechanical. Brandon came on the radio and said it just shut off. So crew chief Sam McCauley already ordered a tow to the garage. Not sure if it's going to be completely terminal, but expect them off the racetrack.
Not much to diagnose there. I don't know. We don't have enough information, and they don't have enough information to diagnose. So they'll have to dissect that and dive into it for the 20, but really unfortunate for Brandon Jones. I can't take my eyes off Anthony Alfredo and the job he's doing right here. This is absolutely incredible. As we go on board, the Dude White's on board. SVG has gotten away, but not in a massive way, and he's been holding off Brent Cruz in a Joe Gibbs Racing car. This team, AJ, bought these cars from Colleague Racing, your race team, a year ago, and has formed this second race team he's driving for basically in December, January. You told the story earlier, Adam. They basically didn't have any cars. And look at this performance last week and now this week.
And, you know, I look at this 96 team and Anthony Alfredo. They've run just as good as the 99 team and Parker Retzloff. It just seems like a lot of bad luck. But I feel like something over these last few weeks has really turned this program even further forward, and we're watching it right now. And this is a driver right now. We know SVG is the best in the business. As we see Connor Zilich on pit road trying to maybe do the stage switch here, but do it early enough, Parker. You get one quick lap on tires compared to the other guys. You can jump them and get further up the field on this next restart.
Carson Quapple also making a pit stop. Scheduled green flag stop, you got to believe here, as you said, to flip the stage, gain some track position as we advance to the start of stage 2, Dylan.
Yeah, and even if they go back out here and just kind of cruise to finish this stage to try to save some tires, they're going to be in a great spot when we restart in stage 2. Saw the chassis adjustment in the back window for the 1 to help with that loose condition for tires and fuel, Kim.
You see Carson Quapple in that 91 car. He said the car feels good, just feels like he's losing the most time through the S's.
I got to tell you, Carson Quapple has done an outstanding job. 5 consecutive top 10 finishes. That's the best run he's ever been on in his career, and he's done it with 3 different cars. He drives the 1, he drives the 9 for Junior Motorsports. This is his last start in the 91 for DGM, as he puts all the pieces together to run full time.
Just heartbreak for him last week, Adam. Oh, it sounds like
speeding for Connor Zilich.
No way.
Well, all that passing that you did in the first stage, good news. You get to try to do it again in the second stage.
Well, here's the tough thing. When it happens now, you know, you can't do the pass-through, right? You got to wait till you get to the end of the stage and then start stage 2 in the back. So I mean, it just really is a compounding problem here. Sheldon Creed is in, Dylan.
Zilich has started the parade of cars down pit road to flip this stage. Sheldon Creed just came on the radio and said that he needs more grip and help in the turns to the right. Chassis adjustment for tires and fuel, Kim.
And for Sam Mayer in the 41, little snug, just overall tight. Need to open up the entry in turn 11. That's where he's losing the most lap time for Mayer.
Sam Mayer had back-to-back top 5 finishes for the first time this season prior to last week's disappointment. And here it is. This is great news that Zilich was able to come in and do the pass-through before pit road was closed with 2 to go, because he, as I said, he would have had to start at the rear, and we've seen that before where you do something to gain track position and it doesn't pay off. Meanwhile, scheduled stop for the race leader, Shane Van Gisbergen, coming in, and he'll close pit road. Here he is, Kim.
Yeah, giving up the lead to flip the stage. Shane, though, saying the car's good right now. In fact, crew chief Philip Bell asking, is the rear lateral any better than yesterday? Because that's what he struggled with in practice. Shane saying, yes, really good, just managing. So not good for the rest of the field to hear that the leader was just managing through that first 18 laps.
I'm not surprised by that. That's what we figured he was doing in terms of managing those tires and that race car.
So Van Gisbergen pulls away, and we'll see where he cycles. But these guys have stayed out. They're going to run it long, get some points. The new race leader, Anthony Alfredo, in the 96. Cruz is right there. Retzloff, Gray, Day, Hill, a bunch of series regulars staying on track here, running it long, chasing stage points. We'll see 1 to go in the stage this time around.
And for Brent Cruz, we know how close it is as we see Anthony Alfredo. That's turn 10. He locked up just a little bit. Looked like he still got a good drive off the corner. Brent's probably going to be just a little bit too far away, but every point counts right now for Brent Cruz. Just outside the chase cutoff. He wants this stage win. 1 lap to go.
And this is big for Anthony Alfredo as well. Maybe not so much the points, but the bragging rights to hold off a Joe Gibbs racing car and win a stage for Viking Motorsport. They came so close last week, but Parker Retzloff actually hurt their effective race result trying to go for that stage win. These drivers do have some bonuses involved in their contracts for winning stages. He wants this stage win bad, trying to hold off Brent Cruz.
Did you just say, show me the money, without saying, show me the money?
Particularly.
This is going to be important for Brent to try to get a good run off, but he got loose behind Alfredo there. Not going to be close enough into 7.
And now the run down through the S's, turn 10, turn 11. Big for Anthony Alfredo, who is chasing his first career stage win, and it would be the first stage victory for Viking Motorsports. Big moment for the 96 group.
Got a little daylight right there. Brent Cruz got a bit loose through 8 and 9. That's what he wanted to see. He's going to hear just a couple back car lengths. It's perfect going into turn 11.
Little traffic there as they get to turn 11. A lot to manage here on the final lap of the stage, but Anthony Alfredo does it, and he's going to pick up career stage win number 1. Awesome job by Alfredo. Cruz with big points is second. Gray, who was a runner-up in last week's race, finishes third. Retzloff is 4th. Viking coming off a week when they scored 33 stage points, right? That's the best they've done combined as a group, and off to a great start here today. And Corey Day ends up inside the top 5 as well. So we'll get pit stops, and we'll get the reset when we return. We're live in Sonoma, where Anthony Alfredo is off to a great start. This summer, the Minions make a monster movie so big it might just leave Hollywood in ruins. Don't miss Minions and Monsters, only in theaters Wednesday. Get tickets now. Been a fun week in California for NASCAR. Last week, San Diego. This weekend, Sonoma. Southern California to Northern California. Stage 1 is done, and pit stops are happening, Dylan.
First pit box is Taylor Gray. Said the balance was good. I was just trying to stay under the tire. Jason Ratcliffe, the crew chief, said turn 3A is where we're losing the most time. Parker Retzloff needs lateral grip. He said, I am out of control. They'll make a track bar adjustment and air pressure change. Kim?
Dylan, his teammate, also needs lateral grip. In fact, Anthony's saying lost left rear lateral in certain areas, then lost front turn in other areas. The team, though, is going to focus on that left rear lateral. See them finishing up that stop right there. And then for Brent Cruz, who is at the very last box before exit, just said 0 lateral grip and lacking drive off. It's going to be 4 fresh Goodyear tires, Sunoco fuel.
Race off Progressive Pit Road is not for the race lead, so many had flipped the stage. First off here is going to be Taylor Gray. Cruz comes off right behind him. Anthony Alfredo wins the stage and drops 2 on the pit lane. NASCAR on the CW is brought to you by Pit Boss Grills, America's #1 pellet grill. The Credit One Bank NASCAR American Express card. And by O'Reilly Auto Parts, your professional parts people. Stage 1 complete in Sonoma, California. This stage break brought to you by Arby's. We'll look at the stage points. Some names up there that are chasing it. I looked down at Austin Hill, got the win last week. They still feel like they can make a late regular season run, get up top 2, 3 to end it. And with the reset, that would be huge. So they get 5 stage points here. And if there's anyone who knows the value of a good crew, it's the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts. That's why they want to put the spotlight on the pit crew members that are essential to a race team's success. Here's Dylan.
And we will spotlight Tanner Muse. You see him there on the screen, native of Belmont, North Carolina. Like many of these guys down here on pit road, a former college athlete, played 4 years of football at Clemson as a defensive back, won 2 national championships there before getting drafted to the NFL by the Raiders, then spent 5 seasons in the NFL. He played for a few different teams, among them the Raiders, as mentioned, and also the Pittsburgh Steelers you see there. So great to have him down on pit road. There's several of those great collegiate athletes on that Sam Hunt Racing crew, and this is just one of them, the 29-year-old native of Belmont, North Carolina.
Really, really cool story. Thank you for that, Dylan. So the drivers that came down pit road into the stage, Taylor Gray, first off, he is 15th prior to the choose. So 14 guys stay out. And those guys that came down under caution, Harrison Burton, Blaine Perkins, will be 1, 2 here. Shane Van Gisbergen, so good to start the race from the pole. 3rd at the choose, inside that driver's right line, 2nd row.
Got to be super careful here.
Echo Park restart zone. Big jump for Harrison Burton.
Saw SVG. It looked like he spun the tires a little bit. Didn't get away great, but still going to clear Blaine Perkins off into turn 2 there. Take over 2nd place. Go after Harrison Burton.
Connor Zilic was 12th prior to the choose after having to do the pass-through when he got the speeding penalty. So his track position better than it was early in the race, obviously. A little dirt for SVG coming down the hill.
And that worked out a lot better than I thought it would in terms of having Blaine Perkins and Harrison Burton ahead of them in the row ahead. Sam Mayer looks the inside. Oh, Justin Allgaier locked up the rears.
Gosh, I was going to say, how did he hang on to it? And he doesn't. 7 goes around, spins out.
41. Dives it in there.
It's like he protected from the 41.
Yeah, we'll have to look at a replay there, but it never looked like Sam Mayer touched him, but it definitely startled Justin Allgaier. You're in so late on the brakes there, it's easy to start wheel hopping as we see SVG make quick work of Harrison Burton, trying to bring Jesse Love with him.
Restarted 3rd, 1 lap later, 9 back on point. As we look at what happened coming to turn 7 for driver 7, Justin Allgaier.
So you're going to see Sam Mayer dart to the inside. And right there, you could have definitely touched him. It's not the best angle, but you start to see at that point the 7 wiggle AJ a little bit, get the wheel hop, goes around.
Yeah, the way the 7 just started dancing a little bit, the 41 might have just touched him. So we're on board here with Sheldon Creed.
Yeah, he's just a recipient of that one. Yeah, I'm going to think that the way the 7s got so unsettled there, Sam Mayer definitely got in the back. Let's take a listen to Justin Allgaier's radio.
All good, bud. Just reset.
Tires are killed. I don't know if you heard me.
All right. Come on. We'll come in.
Calm Andrew Overstreet right there in that situation. I think I saw Justin Allgaier actually go off another time on the subsequent lap, so definitely struggling those tires, but maybe if they're not flat spotted in your crew chief, you'd want them to try and just stay out there, grit and bear it.
I like this battle. Sammy Smith's been in the top 5. Sheldon Creed is there, and joining them now, the one of Connor Zilic. Mention the fact that Connor was 12th prior to the choose, so you restart outside the top 10, but he's made some nice gains early in the run. and got a couple right in front of him. Which way do you go? Quapple right there as well.
He's trying to make that decision right now in real time, which way to go here. Now on the outside of Sheldon Creed, the 3A and the 3B on the inside. Should effectively make the pass, and he does.
Hey, celebrate Austin Green, our Powerball power movers. It's plus 28 today. Backup car from the back after a huge crash yesterday in practice.
And for Connor Zilic, even with that speeding penalty, when they flipped the stage, being able to pit again or do the drive-through effectively was a net gain still for him. He had come in from 15th, ends up 12th on the restart. That was a net gain.
Yeah, so fortunate that they chose with 4 to go to make that pit stop, because if they didn't and he got that speeding penalty with 3 to go, pit road would have been closed next time by. So a huge kind of mistake, but also fortunate that they did it at the right time, and now he's battling for the top 5.
That dude needs something to go his way. And now we're looking at some drivers that made pit stops after running it long into the stage. Cruising the 19, bumper cars, there goes Blaine Perkins.
And Anthony Alfredo, they were basically 3 wide and bouncing all off of each other down in the braking zone. That really hurt Anthony as he had to go around Blaine Perkins, lost a couple of positions.
Corey Day got pretty aggressive in that exchange.
Yeah, take a look here. So there goes Corey Day to the inside. Anthony tried to block, couldn't get to the back of William Sawalich, who gets squeezed by Blaine Perkins. It's like 3 cars into 1, AJ.
Yeah, and that's as Anthony Alfredo tried to block the inside. Corey Day kind of stuffed it down there, made an aggressive pass. And by the time Anthony got to the brake pedal, as you can see, just nothing malicious. Gets into the back of the 18, which gets into the back of the 31. And Blaine Perkins is like, what the heck? I wasn't doing anything wrong.
That really worked out well for Brent Cruz and Ross Chastain, who were able to sneak through, no damage, and pick up a couple of positions. And now the battle for the lead. Jesse Love not letting SVG get away at the front. And Zilic continues the ride.
Down under Harrison Burton. That's going to be up to 4th place now, Parker. Getting closer to the front. Almost you can hear the music start.
The Jaws music is going there. Also, the driver he just went by, Harrison Burton, hanging on. Oh, I just was going to say, oh, that's a commentator's curse right there. Off in 1. That's a high-speed place to go off for Harrison Burton. He was doing such a good job hanging on up there with the strategy they employed, but now he's going to have to sit here and basically let the whole field go by before he can pull away.
See right here, I think he gets a little help, possibly. That's super tight. Looked like Harrison maybe got just a little loose as he turned in for turn 1 there, Parker. Checked up, and Sammy Smith may have just touched him.
But, you know, he pitted at lap 9. He can't, so those tires a little older than some of these other guys.
He was potentially just trying to keep up with Zilic in front of him, oversped it a little bit.
Looking
really
at it again.
He was doing such a good job.
Looking at it again, looks like he just got a bit free into turn 1 there.
Saw a car just going out of our shot. It was Ross Chastain who's got a problem.
I believe he headed out into the
down near the drag strip.
The drag strip area. There's flames underneath the car. That was down in turn 4.
Well, I got to tell you, there have been some hiccups here for Jordan Anderson Racing. We've seen Jet Burton off, problems for the 32. Blaine Perkins went around in turn 11. And good stuff at the front.
I'm watching Ross come down the drag strip right now outside our window. So that's confirmed he's in the middle of the racetrack.
Closing on the halfway point of stage 2, SVG in front of Love, Mayer Zilic, and Sammy Smith. And we get our 2nd caution of the day for an incident, 3rd overall of the afternoon. Fluid on track.
Yeah, and here's Ross. He's been coming down the drag strip that runs alongside the front stretch. That would have been a very weird visual moment for any drivers coming down the front stretch to see a car on the other side coming towards them.
I'll be honest.
I didn't know you knew how to go here.
Hats off to Ross for knowing how to get back. I'd have been completely lost.
For your sake, I hope you don't have to discover that tomorrow, my man.
Do you have like Google Maps or something in there? This is amazing.
Chastain knows the shortcuts at Sonoma. Caution is out. SVG leads. NASCAR on the CW is brought to you by Golden Corral. Golden Corral honors our nation's heroes. Progressive Insurance. Get in the savings lane today. Visit progressive.com. And by Toyota. Let's go places. Full disclosure, I'm not a travel agent, but I will tell you, if you come to Northern California and go to San Francisco, you got to do the Alcatraz tour. There's so much history at that place. I mean, you think about Al Capone, George Machine Gun Kelly, and here's what's shocking to me as we put the facts up. I did not realize a 25-acre island. That's pretty unbelievable.
It's a pretty heavy place if you go for the tour.
It is.
I got there and I thought immediately, I need to get out of here. So, pretty wild.
Now we do a replay brought to you by Progressive. Save when you bundle motorcycle, RV, and boat insurance. Visit progressive.com. Harrison Burton going for a ride off in turn 1.
And it was unfortunate because he was running so well on this alternate strategy, was up in the top 5. This is the type of thing where if you employ a strategy like that, you just have to do your best to limit the damage, not do something like this, and unfortunately lost it there down into turn 1. And that whole strategy has been flipped upside down, but he was doing a great job until then, AJ.
Yeah, it was essentially he had 7 to 8 lap older tires than everybody, and he had good pace in it, and that's what you're hoping in that strategy. You get your car up front, show that you have good speed in it, but gets to reset and go try it again from the back.
All the fluid on track from Ross Chastain. Cleanup continues. We get in another break. Just over 10 laps to go. Stage 2 at Sonoma for the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series. Welcome back. CW Sports coverage of the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series live in Sonoma, California. Today it's the Pit Boss Food Max 250. Here's Kim Kuhn.
Yeah, Carson Kvapil behind the 91 for the final time this season. Currently running in the 7th position, and he's typically sporty when we come on road courses, but he's got a little bit of a driver coach in his ear. Take a listen to our in-car courtesy of Starkey.
I know it sounds kind of weird, Carson, but Ron Fellows used to stab a little bit of throttle between this, in the center of this, and he would slow down the first left-hander and then just stab a little throttle to try to drive the car a little tight into the right-hander. Gotcha. Hey, I'll give that a shot there.
Decipher that, AJ.
I'm trying to think about what they're trying to talk about. As they get into A, you're just trying to, I think, maybe not to arc 9 as much, so if you can kind of throttle straight to it, carry a little bit more entry speed. But Ron Fellows is really good, so that's not a bad guy to go off of.
12 to go, stage 2. Front row, SVG, Jesse Love. They're coming through the Echo Park restart zone.
Sam Mayer got in the rear bumper there at SVG. SVG spun the tires a little bit, gave Jesse Love an opportunity here up the hill.
Van Gisbergen inside lane, turn 2.
Jesse just couldn't quite hang to the outside of SVG.
How about the battle for third? Mayer and Zilich. Side by side to turn 4.
This is so hard for Sam Mayer being under Connor Zilich. Your car wants to get super loose on corner entry there. Connor can hang the outside through 7 here. He'll get that straight line. He clears Sam Mayer for third.
We had 3 wide behind them there. Corey Day, Austin Hill. Anthony Alfredo looked at making it 4 wide, thought better of it. He's trying to get by there, Corey Day in the 9.
How about Zilich from the back to third? He's done it in 30, just over 30 laps with a speeding penalty.
See Carson Kvapil get just a little bit deep as everybody started checking up for the hairpin. Did a good job just to barely get into the back of Sheldon Creed.
And that's who he's fighting right there with, is Austin Green in a backup car. Yesterday he had a horrific crash where he lost his brakes down into turn 11. He has never driven this backup. It's not even his seat. This is really RCR's primary backup that he's using here. So a lot to adjust to, but up in the top 10 doing a great job.
Well, and that duo now under attack from those drivers. Ran it long in stage 1, pitted at the end of the stage. Taylor Gray, Brent Cruz, Austin Hill a part of that mix.
And I think you're going to see these drivers be super aggressive at the end of this stage, because I would feel like as we got a battle for second here, best friends, Connor Zilich, Jesse Love. But Parker, I really think if you want a chance to win this race or run in the top 5, you're not going to run long in this stage and run it out. You're going to short pit, so every position means something in this stage.
Well, and it's that plus fuel strategy, though. There is, fuel concerns for some of these teams. Some are sort of confident they can make it from that point if you flip this stage. Some are thinking they cannot. So it's going to really come down to what fuel mileage they saw on stage 1 and what they're thinking. But let's get more on the 1 from Dylan.
Yeah, well, Parker, you're right. That's the concern for the 1 of Zilich. They've got the track position now, but they just came on the radio and said that their plan is to try to run this out to the end of stage 2 here for exactly that reason. Just want to make sure they give themselves enough of a buffer in stage 3, and especially if we get a green-white checkered or anything of that sort. It's very close for several of these teams, and that's on the radar certainly for all of them at this point in the race.
And Dylan, that has definitely been a trend this season. These junior motorsports cars not quite getting the fuel mileage they had even maybe a year ago. We know how successful they've been. Sometimes when you make horsepower, AJ, could it use a little more fuel?
Well, yeah, and they got a lot more grip than most of the cars.
Oh,
so you definitely are in the throttle more.
That's what it is.
Look at this battle for position. Cruz had gotten by Gray to be the best of those that ran it long at the end of stage 1.
We heard
8th and 9th on track.
Yeah, we heard Brent Cruz talking about at the end of that stage that he just doesn't have that lateral grip that he's looking for. And Parker, it seems like as he's fighting it right now, he can't get in the corners like he wants, but he really can't attack the throttle on exits.
You see it. I've seen this car have some really hellacious wiggles and slides at times on the exit of the corners like you're referencing. So definitely just feels like that car's probably out of the racetrack in the rear, and they're going to continue to try to make adjustments on it. But this track is finicky this weekend. You mentioned it about Cup. It got faster for some reason in Cup qualifying, but some of these drivers saying it's less grip than last year. It's really tough to really put your finger on exactly how this track is reacting.
Pit boss onboard camera, riding with California native Sheldon Creed. He and Sammy Smith just tied together since the restart, really. 5th and 6th, right in front of Quapple.
Got the ballet dance here on the foot cam, Parker.
I find this so cool to watch. It's almost mesmerizing in some respects to see all three of these screens combined, what a driver is doing there with their feet, with their hands. You see a lot of tapping in the braking areas just to make sure the pads are against the rotors.
Now you'll watch him just kind of lay on it a little bit there, rolling into turn 10. Gets off it, feeds the throttle so gently down into turn 11, hard on the brakes.
And you see the modulation as he gets down to the center of the corner. It's an initial stab of the brake as hard as you want to, the highest pressure you'll have, and then it modulates to the point of the apex of the corner.
8 to go, stage 2, SVG leading. It's time to go full throttle with Sound Gear. Wherever sound is a problem, Sound Gear has the solution. Scan the QR code to learn more at soundgear.com. Turn it up. Pretty quiet race here a year ago. When you think about caution counts, 3 cautions today, 1 for the yellow that came out to end the opening stage. And so now you start thinking about where are we on the long run? And when you're out front like Shane Van Gisbergen is, you can kind of manage things, but he's now got Connor Zilic behind him, the one overcoming some adversities to put himself in position as we head toward the end of this second stint of the race.
Yeah, and this is where Shane is so good. Connor, a few laps ago, set the Xfinity fast lap. And he thought, okay, Connor's starting to run down. Last lap, the SVG 6/10 quicker than Connor Zilic.
He responded.
So, you know, there's always that game, and you can tell Connor's pushing really hard to try to get to him. And I still feel like Shane Van Gisbergen is just managing.
Well, I think I heard when we were on Sound Gear full throttle there, I heard the onboard with Shane, the downshift's being a little bit more aggressive. And that's the notification to me that taking things a little more seriously. He sees the one has gotten there. Now it's trying to set a message of how do we stack up? What is my full pace compared to him? If he starts to run me down, he knows that's his most likely #1 competitor here today, just like it was last year. He's got to have to respond to that and start to push this car and know what he needs to tell his crew chief to do changes-wise when we get to this final stop, potentially final stop, to say, hey, this is going to be the adjustment I need to beat the one.
I'm really curious, too, to see how the strategy plays for everybody. Dylan, you know, talked about the game plan for the one. Fuel mileage, certainly a big part of the conversation in the garage area earlier today, and then you factor in what everybody did there management-wise into stage 1, chasing points. A whole lot to think about. Sammy Smith, Sam Mayer with Sheldon Creed right behind him. This for 4th.
Oh, Parker, this gets super tight through the S's.
Elbows out right here. You start hip checking at times through those S's. It gets frustrating.
Sheldon Creed's running 6 behind these two. Like, would you guys just make a decision? Because I'm going to go by both of you.
He's going to have a big run on his teammate right here to the inside. His teammate tries to block.
I thought the door was going to be shut. Creed sneaks in there. Quapple wants a piece. Brent Cruz there in the 19.
And this is where it gets difficult for somebody like Sam Mayer. You're running 4th. That car starts getting under you. You got about 3 to 4 cars behind you. It feels like that train never ends. Kind of got to get your mind reset, refocus.
Get back in the rhythm there as he hits the inside curb in 2. Car started bouncing. But yeah, this place is really about rhythm too. If you get out of that, it can take you a couple of corners to get back into the field, exactly where those tires are at, where the track is at grip-wise. And when you get shoved to the outside there in 10, like you said, you're hanging on a little bit. And it's just, you have to recenter as he's trying to hold off Brent here into 7.
Cruz a little fresher tires. Sneaking to the inside. 19 proven to be good over the long haul here in stage 2.
Sam's having deja vu from the lap before with the 8.
Look at this off track. I mean, just off-road, make it work. But a little loss of momentum. Here comes the 91, Carson Quapple.
And as a driver there, Brent Cruz knows I'm on the inside of him. There's not a lot of grip to the outside of me. So if I just lean on him a little bit, it gets him wide. You're able to make that pass. Sam Mayer's lost 5 spots in 2 laps here, trying to get one of them back here on Taylor Gray.
And Sam will not have appreciated that, but there's nothing he could do at that point when Brent gets into his door through those S's. And when you end up side by side and you're sort of on the defense to those S's, there's just not a lot you can do to respond to that moment as he gets into Taylor Gray here a little bit. His elbows out for Sam Mayer.
Starting to see pit stops flipping the stage. 87, Austin Green is in, Kim.
Yeah, and that backup car on Lynn from RCR. Austin Doe saying car feels good. He does need just a little bit more rear security, then choosing to flip this stage. So either crew chief Jody Meismer feels good about their fuel mileage or maybe predicting some cautions in the last stage to stretch it. You saw that chassis adjustment as the other side of tires go on and fuel in the race car.
Yeah, I think I said this earlier, but Kim references maybe coming a 3rd time. All these teams should have 3 sets of sticker tires laying. So even if you flip the stage here, stay out at the end of the stage, with a longer final stage, cautions fall right, you would have a sticker set laying if you wanted to come back. And, you know, when I look at our bumper, the other thing to point out, Junior Motorsports had won 11 straight races on the road. That was snapped last week by RCR, but they got 3 in the top 4 here. And here comes Taylor Gray. Scheduled green flag pit stop. Anthony Alfredo won the opening stage. Flipping it here, down to Dillon.
Only real feedback from the 54 was at the beginning of this run. Said he fired off tighter on sticker tires, but the car was getting better. Routine service for the 54. Kim?
And for Anthony Alfredo, also fired off tight, but then he said the car was coming to him, and they actually decided on this plan at the beginning of stage 2. Crew chief Joshua Graham telling his driver, you did your job, meaning he won that first stage. Now I'm going to go for the win, which meant flipping the stage.
I love that mentality.
Hey. He had the speed.
So when SVG comes by in the 9, whether he does it on pit road or on the racetrack, that's going to close the pit lane. See how they manage it. And he will pit, flip the stage, just like he did in stage 1. And just like Dillon reported, the 1 of Connor Zilic stays out. He'll run it long here. 9 is in, giving up the race lead and making his scheduled stop.
Yeah, Adam, and a very interesting call by crew chief Philip Bell, because when I talked to him this morning, he said, I am absolutely worried about fuel mileage and our ability to flip this stage. We saw them do it last year, but the fuel mileage for those JRM cars has not been what it was last year. So we'll see if he's just putting confidence in his driver to be able to save enough fuel in that final stage. Shane, though, just needing a little bit more lateral. Still the same problem he's had all race and yesterday in practice.
Jesse Love is in, flipping the stage. He's had good track position today. Referenced the JRM win streak on the road coming to an end last week with Austin Hill winning. That was the first win on the road for RCR when Austin Hill got it done in 10 years.
And you think back to Watkins Glen when the 2-car had some of the best fuel mileage in that final stage of anyone, was able to do an alternate strategy that put him in position to try and win and hold off Silich, and lost in the final corner. But he was one of the few cars that was able to stretch his fuel that far. So if there's anyone that feels confident maybe making this work, it could be that 2-car, Jesse Love.
That was one of his many heartbreaks this year.
Save me some fuel here, buddy. Just save me some fuel. You're not going to get the 9. Just save fuel. Nobody coming out.
Stockman employing the strategy immediately. Fuel save.
These guys are outside the top 10, but sometimes timing and scoring doesn't give you all the updates you want when everything is scattered through a cycle of green flag stops. The one thing we know for sure, Connor Zilich, the race leader, 1 to go, second stage.
And this is a strategy now where, you know, to a certain degree, Parker, Connor Zilich on this next restart can be aggressive. Some of these guys are going to have to start saving. How much? I think it varies for everybody. But Connor Zilich, although going to probably restart about 14th or 15th from how many guys we've seen pit, going to definitely have the most fuel and be the most aggressive early in the run.
And I can assure you, if he's able to pull this off or even get back to the front, he will have passed most cars today.
No doubt.
Starting at the back, everything that's happened, the pit road speeding penalty, if he is able to pull this off, he will have passed a ton of cars on this day. And maybe that's what gave Rodney the thought is, I saw him pass him before, try it again.
That's what I was going to say. I mean, they have the confidence to get it done. 14 drivers did flip the stage. As AJ said, you're going to be racing somewhere around 15th when we get the restart for the final stage, if you can execute on the pit lane. Behind the lap car of Josh Bilicki in the 07. Connor Zilich comes back to the green and white checkered flag. 16th career stage win and his 4th stage win of the year. He's recorded victories at Bristol and Watkins Glen. Sammy Smith having a good points year. Stays out, runs it long, gets points. Same for Creed. Cruz does it again. Great points day when he came in below that chase cut line. Carson Quapple, 91. Just, I mean, every time he gets behind the wheel, whether it's the 91, the 9, the 1, whatever it is, he seems to go out, be productive. And they are again here today. So there's the duo, right? They've led laps today. We know how good they are, and we would anticipate we'll see them doing it again. And if last year is any indication, we're in for a real treat in the final stage. It was the 88 and 9 last year. Maybe today it's the 9 and the 1. They are the stars of the show. Connor Zilich, Shane Van Gisbergen. Final stage coming your way from Sonoma. As we head into the next stage, it's time to fuel up with Arby's new Angus cheesesteak with 100% Angus beef, melty Cooper cheese, and a toasted Amoroso's roll. It's exactly what you need to finish strong. Race to yours by texting RACE to 27297 to get notified about Arby's exclusive deals. Order your cheesesteak in the Arby's app today. Those that ran it long, coming down the progressive pit lane. Connor Zilich leading them. Here they are, Dylan.
Decent day of stage point earning for Sammy Smith in the 8. Said that his car wasn't terrible, just was losing rear grip. That's been the report for a lot of cars. They'll come down here, change 4 tires, and get it full of fuel. Teammate Connor Zilich said the balance was better, but I'm still a little bit looser than I'd like. Even though they ran that stage out, they are not confident they can make it to the end on fuel. Going to try to get it as full as they can and likely have to do some work behind the wheel to save as much as he can, Kim.
You know who is confident? That's the 19 of Brent Cruz. Crew chief Seth Chopka told me his driver, we're going to be good on fuel so you can run it hard. We do not need to conserve like some of these other guys. That car feels pretty good. Just didn't have the drive off at the end of the run as the 8 had an issue on pit road.
Yeah, we'll follow up on Sammy Smith in a second. First, the race off progressive pit road. Zilich holds serve +2 for Cruz. This is big when you think about the cycle and the restart position with those that stayed out. And Sammy Smith pulling away. Not good. Tire goes rolling. NASCAR on the CW is brought to you by O'Reilly Auto Parts, your professional parts people. Progressive, save when you bundle motorcycle, RV, and boat insurance. Visit progressive.com. And by Pit Boss Grills, America's #1 pellet grill. It's been a perfect weather weekend here in Sonoma, California. I love our seat in the booth, but Carla, I think I like yours even better down there.
That's right. I'm here in turn 11. We've got some really cool trophies in the O'Reilly Auto Parts series. We've got the sword, the clock, but here at Sonoma, if you're a wine connoisseur, then you really love this one because this is a chalice that a driver will get. It's going to be filled with ones by Sabonis Pinot Noir in victory lane today. And if Sabonis sounds a little bit familiar to you, yes, that is Domantas Sabonis of the Sacramento Kings, a 3-time NBA All-Star player. He and his wife own a winery, and this is only produced in exclusive quantities. So very special for the winner today. And I know you're thinking, well, we have a lot of underage drivers. Well, they're not going to get the Pinot Noir, unfortunately. They're going to get Martinelli's apple cider. So maybe not quite as exclusive, Kim, but still fancy enough, I think.
Well, I can tell you two guys that would love to take home that exclusive bottle of wine. SVG running P1, Jesse Love running P2. So where do they stand based on flipping that stage? Well, crew chief Danny Stockman before the race told me we've got really good fuel mileage compared to the field. We're fine flipping stage 2. He did tell his driver, I need the best saving of your life here. So maybe questionable or just feeling a little nervous about their fuel mileage. For the 9 of SVG, remember I told you guys that Philip Bell told me he was absolutely nervous. Well, take a listen to Starkey in-car communication, how they feel.
Yeah, we should be 1 to the good, so all good.
I'll try to save a little bit once we get rolling too if I manage to pull clear.
Yep, 10-4.
Doesn't seem to be a lot of stress there. 14 drivers flipped it, a few of those pitted, so 11 stay out. Zilich was 12 prior to the choose. His teammate out front. Shane Van Gisbergen and Jesse Love get us going again. Final stage, Sonoma.
Another great restart by Jesse Love, but is he able to hang on the outside? It's not going to look like it.
Oh, he's there.
Oh, he
Parker.
is.
He's going to have the inside in turn 3, but SVG drives it down in the corner. Up over their hill here. Can he get the power down? He's going to hold Jesse Love off for the lead.
Look who comes through to third. Anthony Alfredo flipping the stage right in the game.
Wasn't quite able to do the crossover there for Jesse Love, but you mentioned, Adam, Anthony Alfredo back into the top 3. Stage 1 winner. He's in the hunt.
Corey Day is as well. Been a quiet afternoon for him because of the way the coming and going has happened with the track position and the way they've traded things in regard to the pit cycle, but he's up there inside the top 5.
Look at
Connor
Zilich. Yeah, under Jeremy Clements now. Into 9th. As we see Jesse Love peaking low under SVG down in turn 11. Can't get it done.
Day racing gray. And I hope they're not racing for long. It's a little bit of a tongue twister. Allgaier goes wide in 11.
He's had a rough 2 weeks there, Justin Allgaier in the 7. Last week, they hit the wall in qualifying, got spun out in the race, had a cylinder, lost a cylinder, lost a second cylinder, and now this race is not going to plan for the 7 of Justin Allgaier.
Austin Green talked about his day. Always good racing on the road, in particular here at Sonoma. He's top 10, right in front of Brent Cruz. Hey, we should celebrate Jeremy Clements, too. I mean, they've had a great day. And when you look at the last month, 6 weeks or so, 51 spent a lot of time inside the top 15.
Anthony Alfredo putting pressure on Jesse Love. There goes Zilich, the inside of Sawalich. Should have the leverage as they get to the end of these S's in the 9. Clears them easily before 8.
Sawalich losing a position is big because he has dropped below the chase cut line with what Brent Cruz has done here today. You look at the updated standings. I go right to Retzloff at plus 55. Great for that team, but you see how tight it is at the cut between teammates. The teenagers there separated by 9.
So we ride on board here. The Dude Wipes on board with Anthony Alfredo. This is what Shane Van Gisbergen wants to see. These two battling. We heard it on the radio communication before going back to green. if SVG can get a little bit of a lead, that's where he can start saving that fuel, give him a little bit of extra kind of bonus wiggle room just in case of green-white checkers at the end of the race.
And what he's sizing up now is where has he been better than the two Jesse Love? Where is he now lacking? He got right to him. And it's like Jesse got the message and vaulted away by a couple car lengths here. And here down into turn 11 once again, some contact. Oh, boy.
Raja Caruth, 88, another one of those drivers dancing around the chase cut line, 22 out as we run, making his first Sonoma appearance.
And I talked to Raja yesterday. He had never been here before, and practice was challenging, qualifying was challenging, and his hope was to use all these laps to learn. This place is tough. When you've come here, which we've been coming to in NASCAR for so long, and some of these drivers have so many starts here compared to him, you're playing a lot of catch-up.
Series champion Chase Elliott will drive that car next week, Chicagoland Speedway in Joliet. Also be behind the wheel in Indianapolis. Popple, Clements, Mayer, Jeb Burton right back with that group there.
I feel like Sam has been side by side for about every other lap that we've viewed here in the last stage 2, end of stage 2 and beginning of stage 3.
That's a tough pass to make that he just made work there, Parker, to go around the outside of turn 1 to get yourself set up to the inside of turn 2, making the pass on Jeremy Clemens as we see Dean Thompson here backwards, looks like in turn 2.
All good.
Not a lot of damage.
Eyes forward.
Both the Sam Hunt Racing cars have had issues down into, Harrison Burton was into 1. Dean Thompson looked like out of 2.
And it's unfortunate because they have found their way in recent weeks. Prior to San Diego, Dean had been finishing inside the top 15. Talked earlier about the top 10 last week for Harrison Burton. As you see what happened to the 26 there, a little contact.
I believe that was Brennan Poole who got into him, just got loose into 1. Same area that we saw Harrison Burton get loose and lose it. It is a tricky corner as Zilich to the inside of Taylor Gray here in the top 5 as he marches through the field best that he can.
He's 3.5 seconds behind race leader Shane Van Gisbergen.
Well, I was going to say, as we watch him go through turn 1 and up that hill, you are slowing the car the whole time, but this is not easy going up that hill, and the race car can easily be on edge as it compresses into the hillside and gains a lot of front grip suddenly. Something all these drivers are managing lap after lap into 1, and you try to carry as much speed as you can up that hill, but sometimes the car can get away.
Heading toward 25 laps to go. Now we go full throttle with Sound Gear. Wherever sound is a problem, Sound Gear has the solution. Scan the QR code to learn more at soundgear.com. Turn it up.
Still clear by 5. Yep, all good right here. Only one in our ballpark is the 1 car, and he's 4.5 seconds back.
Yeah, I'd said the advantage was 3.5. It's actually now 4.5 seconds for SVG over 4th place Connor Zilich.
But what did you just hear in Sound Gear full throttle there as he went up the hill into 1, into 2, clutching and coasting, AJ. He is managing this race at such a high level. He's able to clutch and coast to save fuel and keep driving away from Jesse Love.
And on top of it, as he releases the clutch, he seems to be in a taller gear. So he's 3rd gear up through turn 2 and 3 and 4 and down all through those corners. So he's doing a couple of things. He's saving fuel being in a taller gear, and he's saving his rear tires because as he throttles up, that motor starts to lug and it doesn't spin the rear tires off these corners. So he's getting kind of a double bonus of fuel save and saving tires.
This is literally a master class they are seeing in real time by Shane Van Gisbergen.
He's led 42 laps today from the pole. and he's given up some of those because of strategy. It's Shane Van Gisbergen out front of Jesse Love, Anthony Alfredo, Connor Zilich, and Corey Day. Laps to go for the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series. We're live on CW with a Pit Boss Food Max 250. Shane Van Gisbergen continues to lead. You saw side by side Connor Zilich now up to second. Closed captioning for today's race brought to you by Cerakote. The top detailers in the world trust Cerakote, shouldn't you?
I could watch this onboard all day long. And it's not just that he's doing the clutch and coast and saving fuel and watching Shane drive these race cars. It's that right hand going to the right of the shifter. He's multiple times to the lap also adjusting the brake bias lever, which quickly can change the brake bias, either reduce or add to the rear braking. And he's doing it almost every lap in the same places, AJ. And it's just watching, there he goes right there to make a little adjustment. And he moves it back and forward through the whole lap, adjusting how that car reacts under the brakes while just managing everything else in this race car. It's so impressive.
Yeah, he's got. We're good with it. If he gets to us, we can push. We're good on fuel. One to the good, not counting his saving. So more.
Yeah, he's got just a great feel of the race car and where he needs to push it, where he doesn't. So we see Taylor Gray here making a pass on Corey Day into the top 5. Great run. Parker Retzloff right behind him there in 7th. Another great run.
Let's get a report on Gray. What's going on there, Dylan?
do a Toyota driver update on the driver that just took over the 5th spot in Taylor Gray, who's having another great road course day. Finished 2nd last week, of course, 3rd the last road course before that at Watkins Glen, and has done a nice job at the front of the field all day today. He said he's put a lot of work in to just have more raw speed on the road courses. Said, I used to need a rabbit to chase. I don't really feel like I do anymore. Feel like I know how to maximize speed around this racetrack and around any road course racetrack. And Jason Ratcliffe, his crew chief, echoed the same thing. He said the biggest difference maker on a road course is the button, the seat. So if you make a lot of changes, sometimes that doesn't really get you what you need. Taylor's done a good job to do his part to just get better on these types of racetracks, and it's showing so far today. He's been really solid.
I mean, you look at them, and they've been a little bit of a yo-yo, right? I mean, he's had problems in more than 10 races this year, but great execution the last couple of weeks. Dylan references what he's doing on the road. 2nd at San Diego, top 5 here. And I tell you, you want to celebrate great things, and we just can't say enough about Viking and what they're doing. Anthony Alfredo 4th, and Retzloff right there in the top 10 again.
And when I spent time with Parker Retzloff and Anthony Alfredo yesterday in the garage, they were so excited about how these cars drove at San Diego, then here at Sonoma. And it's just, to your point, we can't say it enough. This is so impressive for a young organization. 2 weeks in a row on a West Coast swing, this early in its, infancy here as an organization, to have this kind of performance from both drivers and both teams, really impressive to see.
And it's important for both teammates to have success, right? Like, as race car drivers, of course, you want to be the guy dominating your race team. But when you can have 2 drivers in such a young team kind of feed off each other, keep making the equipment better no matter where you go, and it's really starting to show kind of as we really edge into the second half of this season.
Brent Cruz starting to get aggressive in the 19.
Yeah, I think Corey Day is potentially holding these two up a little bit right now. Corey's got a bit of a tire rub on the right front. As Brent Cruz looks to the inside, Retzloff. Oh, trying to get 2 for 1. That's going to be tough.
Don't see that a lot at turn 7.
No. Retzloff let him go. Thought the better of it. Probably felt like the 19 could get to the 17 quicker and maybe help him get by the 17. Here's Taylor Gray and Corey Day. There's a little bit. Oh, this might be where the damage is from. The right front.
But when you go up there and you know that every position is a point, and you think about how tight things are, you got to go get all you can, especially if you're Brent Cruz. Yikes, little contact with Corey Day. Allows Retzloff to get through.
Brent Cruz made the decision, I'm driving into this until I see God into the corner, and Corey Day, unfortunately, had to get used up a little bit, but Brent knows that, he's already 12 seconds back of SVG in the lead there, so he's got to get away from this group, and Parker Retzloff did a great job, kind of saw it coming, let Brent go into 7, knew that he was getting around Corey, and unfortunately for Justin Allgaier, he's backwards again.
He is in turn 2 there for Justin Allgaier. I spoke to Andrew Overstreet, and he said before they came in these 2 road course races in San Diego and Sonoma, he told Justin, don't even worry about these. We don't have to see them again. No matter how bad they go, we're not even gonna let it phase us. 5 wins on the season. They've been absolutely awesome. Obviously a huge points lead. Here's looking back at it late. He's already off into the dirt. But I think these 2 maybe went worse than they could probably have expected, and are looking forward to getting away from the road courses.
Kind of a home game next week, going to Chicagoland.
Yeah, I'm going to, some breaking news here. I'm going to say Justin Allgaier next week at Chicagoland is going to be really fast.
And I'm going to say that he'll still have a sizable lead over second place in the standings when we get there. All right, we're talking about leads and advantages, and there's the difference first to second. Shane Van Gisbergen to Connor Zilic.
This is what's scary if you're Connor Zilic. Shane Van Gisbergen, as we've rode on board and he's saving fuel, running taller gears, just ran his fastest lap of the race.
Wow.
It's just not fair.
That's not that. I mean, and that's what's tough. Like, I've been in that position behind SVG. Like, if you're Connor, you're like, I'm running him down. I can see it, and then SVG's like, oh, hold on a second. I'm gonna put a lap in here.
And if you've been watching NASCAR the last 2 or 3 years and watched us harp on what SVG does, you know, we're 2 drivers who have spent our life. We started in road course racing. What he does sort of makes our mind break in some respects. It just doesn't make sense, but he makes it work. And it just somehow he's able to have such speed, take care of the cars in ways that I never thought was possible at this level or in NASCAR. And that's what's just so incredible when we go on board and I get mesmerized watching him, because it defies everything I learned my entire time getting, you know, to this level and trying to apply, and yet he makes it all work.
50 laps led today, the most he's ever led in an O'Reilly race in his career. Trying to finish the deal with 16 laps to go. The highs and lows of Sonoma. It's tough. NASCAR and CW back live, Sonoma, California. 14 laps to go for the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series. Last time around, Zillage put up a lap, starting to gain just a little bit on Shane Van Gisbergen.
Let's hope. That lap came kind of out of nowhere, out of SVG. This lap, he went quicker, but Connor Zillage started to put some quick laps in. Another 3/10 off of Shane Van Gisbergen. So Connor pushing. Same deal, Parker. Is SVG just saving, or is that all he's got right now?
You think he's human, maybe, potentially?
What do you have for us, Dylan?
Well, it's been interesting to listen to the one radio over these last couple laps because I'm listening to the second channel. This is not information necessarily that's going to Connor, but Rodney Childers, the crew chief, has gone back and forth. He said first they told the 9 that he was good on fuel, and then a lap ago he just came back on the radio and said now they've told SVG to save again. So I don't know if Kim is hearing anything different on the 9 radio than what I'm hearing on the 1, but it sounds like it's a fluid situation to say the least. And I think the plan for the 1 is to just keep the pressure on Shane, make him not able to save as much fuel as he wants to save it, and then just see how it unfolds. Remember, both these guys not going for points, they're just going for the win, so they can kind of put it all on the line here if they have to.
And there's going to be 12 laps to go this time by. That's a really long time, you know, at a road course. So a lot to manage here down the stretch at Sonoma. Talk so much about 1-2. Let's go back to third, riding with Anthony Alfredo.
Alfredo doing just a great job here. They've kind of, Anthony Alfredo and Jesse Love kind of been bouncing back and forth kind of within 0.8 to 1 second of each other. Seems like one of them puts a little bit of a quicker lap in, the other one responds. But what a great job. And then as we see Taylor Gray, he's right behind Anthony Alfredo, so this battle for third is going to be a 3-car battle pretty soon.
Yeah, you said a battle for third. Alfredo fourth in the running order behind Love. And there's that group behind him. You referenced Taylor Gray, Brent Cruz.
Well, we've entered uncharted territory in terms of the length of this green flag run here in the third stage. It's the longest run of the day. If it continues on, it will obviously be the longest run of the day. So this is sort of where, you know, we talk about what Zilich and SVG are trying to do there and how their battle, but even for Love and Alfredo, Gray, Brent Cruz, this is where the car is kind of entering a phase of which you haven't experienced yet. How are the brakes holding up? What have you done with the bias? How are the rear tires holding up? What are you feeling inside that race car? There's a lot that can change, and you mentioned without 11 laps to go, I mean, that's a lot of time around this racetrack. That's a lot of laps in an O'Reilly Series NASCAR stock car at a road course.
I just think, too, about the guys on the pit box. And you have to start developing your mindset on, okay, caution comes out, what am I doing? Do you give up the track position? Do you come down pit road? Where's the breaking point on getting tires? And it's always a big question here. We've seen it at every level. I mean, track position is so preferred on a road course, but there's going to be a dividing line of those that say, I want to come and get some tires and make a late rally. Ryan Sieg, Raja Caruth.
That's very similar to what we saw from Brent Cruz a couple laps prior. And that is, you just throw it in there and hope it stops as we see the 21 pitting, Dylan.
Yeah, and this was unscheduled. They had thought maybe that they had a tire going down. Then they thought that maybe the rear end had come apart, like they broke a track bar mount or something. But obviously, as you see the 21 back on the racetrack, that doesn't appear to be the case. They thought they'd seen the rear end of that race car moving around. So just some service to get that car back on the racetrack, change tires, and send him back out.
Got his second win of the year last year, won the season opener at Daytona. And I think about some of the tracks coming. He's good on the 1.5 miles. Should be good next week at Chicagoland. And in 2 weeks' time, Echo Park Speedway in Atlanta, Hampton, Georgia. You know that the guy from Winston is always really good there. It's getting pretty fun here.
Yeah, this is getting really fun. And to your point, if we did get a caution, if you wanted to come get those tires, we're not seeing a tremendous amount of fall off here today. 2 years ago, I actually did that. I was in 5th, tried to take tires. Didn't quite work out for us. We got back to the top 10. So interesting to see if anyone decides to do that if we get the caution. But Alfredo hounding Jesse Love here.
And as a driver here, Parker, we've been in this position before. That 2 car starting to slide around a little bit more than you'd like. You look in your mirror, you see 3 cars behind you. 10 to go, it feels like an eternity. So Jesse Love's gonna have to try to hit all of his marks perfect, because I feel like if Anthony Alfredo gets around him, Taylor Gray, Brent Cruz, they're just gonna fall through here as he's gonna try to make a run. Going for the block. Alfredo to the outside. We see Brent Cruz send it under Taylor Gray now. Cleared him for 5th.
Yeah, and if you're into Alfredo, you see that as well, and now know you have to get by Jesse Love and try to vault away as the 19 is coming to you.
Vibration. Keep digging for us here, buddy. Let us know if it gets worse.
Oh, that's a tough pass to make. Yeah, vibration's never good. As we mentioned, we're on the longest run of the day. That can mean a tire issues. You just look to the inside here.
See that 2-car moving around. The 96 car of Anthony Alfredo here has got a little bit better forward drive. But I think Brent Cruz is kind of lining them both up. Watch for Brent Cruz here. Get a good drive off this corner. Try to send it under Anthony Alfredo. They both defend.
The balance of patience and aggression. 3 wide. Are you kidding me to turn 7? There goes Alfredo. Getting by Jesse Love for 3rd.
That worked out perfectly for Anthony Alfredo. Gets away from the 19 through these S's who's stuck behind Jesse Love. Gets a little bit of breathing room. Brent Cruz is going to look to the outside as we head towards 10, and Jesse Love's just going to let him go.
Yeah, I think about Jesse Love, 2nd in points, and in quite a battle there with Corey Day. So you want to do all you can to preserve positions here, because once we get the reset and the chase begins, 2nd is a better option than 3rd when you look at that reset, and Love now falls back behind Taylor Gray.
This was so tight. It was a block thrown. Anthony moved further right, then there was a further block. He moved further right, didn't quite get into him. Yep, said, nope, I'm still gonna find some space here.
It was almost as if Anthony Alfredo was trying to block Brent Cruz and realized, well, heck, there's an opening here. I gotta take it.
And there you see the difference from 1st to 2nd. Van Gisbergen back to Zilich as SVG manages some traffic. Next guy he'll see is the 45, LeVar Scott. Scott back in 32nd position.
Zilich cut a little bit out of that lead, get back under 4 seconds as he works his way through this traffic. Those are the kind of things, if you're in Zilich's position,
clear.
You love to see. Ahead is this 9-car finding other cars, not just clean track.
7 to go. Talk about a Saturday afternoon drive through wine country. You just go out, ease your way around, build up a lead of almost 5 seconds.
I think he's broken a sweat here in this third stage.
And we talked in the pre-race about his disappointment from San Diego, and we referenced driving angry. I feel like right now it's all joy behind the wheel of number 9. Dale Earnhardt Jr. got to be happy about what he's seeing. Phillip Bell, such a great job executing with this 9 bunch.
You know, last year, he really raced Zilich in that tight battle they had very respectfully and could have easily taken that from Zilich last year. I felt like that sort of stuck in his mind. We watched that piece in the pre-race where they watched it back, and you could just tell he wanted this. He was like, hey, you had last year, I want this year, right?
Yeah, and I think a little bit of that was, you know, Chicago, he roughed up Connor
that's what I was going to say. Yeah.
So I felt like that was SVG's way of like, okay, I might have done you just a little bit wrong in Chicago. I'm going to ease off here at Sonoma, and then obviously Watkins Glen, that all went out the window. So, but, you know, we all talk about how good SVG is, and I think he could make any car look so good. But Parker, you know, as a driver, you get into a rhythm in such a good car like these junior motorsports cars are, and you put a guy like SVG or Connor Zilich in them, and they make it look easy. They got a 17-second gap over Brent Cruz right now.
That's unbelievable.
2 laps to go this time by.
4 laps.
You saw Phillip Bell there on the box. We talked about him and his good leadership. This team won at Circuit of the Americas early in the year. Also won at Charlotte with Ross Chastain behind the wheel. Junior Motorsports this year has won with 5 different drivers. 4 of their cars have been to victory lane. Think about the strength for Chevrolet. 18 straight victories on the road. It had been 11 straight, as I said earlier, for Junior Motorsports until RCR got it done last week with Austin Hill. And now Van Gisbergen 4-7. Just wants to make that run through the S's, turn 10, 11, and make sure he gets back to the white flag with no more cautions.
Looking through this field here, Carson Quapple up to 7th, doing a fantastic job in that 91 car. Corey Day just getting by Jesse Love for 8th, so Jesse struggling late in this run. Sounds like he'd used up those rear tires and paying the price.
The fuel situation as well, I would think, you know, a little bit too for Jesse Love. We knew he had to save a ton. So this is what they've been able to do on these road courses, and it's really impressive if he's able to make it.
For Quapple, that would be his 6th consecutive top 10 finish. Doing an outstanding job. White flag in the air this time. 1 lap to go. Sponsored by Credit One Bank for what's ahead. Less than 2 miles to victory for Shane Van Gisbergen.
See Shane really taking care of just making sure he's got enough fuel. You can see Connor Zilich trying to make a race out of it, but Shane over the last couple of laps has really just kind of shut her down a little bit just to make sure he's got enough fuel.
And you see that super file on Shane's car could be a big win for them as well. That was announced as the title partner for Trackhouse MotoGP team. So if you're a big fan of Global Motorsports, to see a sponsor like that in racing, getting to victory lane in NASCAR, pretty cool for them as well.
Parker, I'd like to see you on a MotoGP bike.
That would be scary.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm not brave enough.
I'd pay for that.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm going to start fundraising to find you a sponsor so we can all watch.
No.
Little lap traffic for SVG through the S's.
Just babying it right here. Just follow Dean. Nothing to push for here.
The only laps he really didn't lead today were the ones through cycles of strategy. Turn 11, final time. Little lap traffic, no problems for engine number 9. He's a Sonoma superstar. Shane Van Gisbergen wins in wine country.
Hell of a job, Shane. Thank you.
And awesome job, team. Thank you. What a great race car.
6 career wins. 2nd time he's done it here at Sonoma. And the first driver in series history to earn his first 6 wins on a road course.
Oh.
This is big when you think about points, right?
Right there, too. For Taylor Gray, run out of fuel. We knew it was tight for some of these cars.
Oh, this is heartbreaking for them. Just watching everybody drive by.
Yeah.
And so many on the lead lap, they're all positions. I mean, just losing points here.
What the team's asked him to do is basically use the starter motor. You leave it in gear and try to bump it, move it forward. That's so hard to do.
Will the starter not get it going? It won't even start.
That's a long way, too, back to the start-finish line. So, but, you know, with Taylor Gray running out of fuel there, he's going to get a help from his teammate, Brandon Jones. I'm not sure that's legal. But
oh, well.
Last lap. But we're not going to say anything. But that means Viking Motorsport 2 in the top 5, Parker.
Wow. What a 2 weeks for that team on the road courses. Yeah, NASCAR will have to investigate this.
12th win of the season for Junior Motorsports. And as one Joe Gibbs Racing Toyota helps another. We just got a report from NASCAR. That lap will not count for the 54. But Brent Cruz, when you talk about Joe Gibbs Racing with a great day, finishes third in his first appearance in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series at Sonoma and jumps above that chase cut line, and he will benefit from the misfortune of the 54 as Taylor Gray drifts in the wrong direction. Viking Motorsports puts both of their Chevrolets inside the top 5. And Carson Kvapil ends up 6th in the 91. This ought to be some fun. And here's the SVG number 9 burnout, or as our friends at Pit Boss Grills like to call it, the smokeout. And he can put on a show after he gets the checkered flag, no doubt.
Well, that motor will be used up.
And I was just thinking, another thing I'm jealous of, his arm's long enough that he can high-five guys.
That's not, you've never had that issue.
I've never, like, I literally have to be halfway out of the car to even get my arm out to high-five. So another thing I'm jealous of SVG now.
You've got to go full Carson Hocevar to high-five the team.
like he just literally just stuck his arm out and high-fived his whole team down the start-finish line. That's just sadness for me.
Junior Motorsports, victors of 12 of the last 13 in road course competition. And they've now won 20 all-time. That is the best of the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series.
We're going to let Shane go ahead and do the signature signing of the rugby ball and the kick. Well, yeah, watch out in the front row here, folks. Let her eat. Go ahead. Oh, that was he got all of that one to the upper deck almost. Oh, it bounced off the canopy over there. Hey, Shane, as he goes around here and gives these guys a much-deserved fist bump and high five, team effort today to make sure that they had enough fuel to get to the end. You had enough fuel to do a John Force here on the front stretch, but how tense were those last few laps just trying to make sure you got this thing right here to the start-finish line?
Yeah, a little bit. Luckily enough, I think I saved enough early, and sorry it wasn't the most exciting. I guess boring is good when you're the one leading, but yeah, thank you to Superfile and Junior Motorsports, Chevy. What an amazing car, like to lead like that, and the car was just so good the whole race, and stoked to get another one for these guys.
Yeah, they did a pretty good job today, to say the least. Shane Van Gisbergen dominates and saves enough fuel to get it done at Sonoma for the second time.
He leads 66 of 79 laps, pulls away at the end, and claims victory in Sonoma, California for the second time in his career. Engine number 9, victorious for a third time this season for Junior Motorsports.